it's broadcasting live now.
Scribble
As
this
of
out.
4 seconds before you announced that she was drawing a uterus.
Way to go.
I don't know what you were drawing. That's what it looked like to me.
Not sure either, but that's not at all what it was.
I think Roxanne lays awake at night thinking, what are
How
the
do
most
I mess with
outlandish
the
things
feed
I can
today?
say while we're live to try to embarrass my husband?
How was that embarrassing? She was drawing something.
Last time I checked, it was Tutti Frutti.
2:30?
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti? What's Tutti Frutti?
How to embarrass you, Papa.
Tutti Frutti embarrasses me?
This is the only place he gets embarrassed.
Baby.
Apparently the word uterus.
Is that it quiet? I can't draw lefty. I'm gonna doodle, but I can't. It's
I can't either.
okay.
I'm gonna try anyway.
Here we go.
Try to write my name.
Draw my
It's
drawing.
really hard to
Right.
say, right?
Bridges. That's a bridge. That's a bridge. That's
It's
a
like
bridge.
a balloon. It's like a deformed balloon. Or like an old lady's butt.
There we go.
What?
Top one is my left hand.
That's not that bad.
All right, so we're live. So this week we're talking about the kickoff of our 7-week series on the armor of God, and the podcast was about the belt of truth. So
The graphic looks very familiar.
the graphic looks very familiar because I took a piece of art off of Jonathan's bathroom wall and took it out of its frame and took a picture of it and then put it back in the frame and hung it back on the wall. And then that week there was a huge storm and a big thunder and other stuff got knocked off the wall and it got knocked off the wall and broke. It's not my fault.
It's not bad. That's what mine used to look like when I started using my left hand.
Not my fault.
It's not. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, you are.
I'm extending my belt of truth.
Yeah.
Stretching it.
Stretching it.
What?
Why did you write that down?
That's what you are.
You wrote butt.
Camera.
So I liked
That was.
when I was looking up the meanings of the words for truth in the New Testament, and the first one I came across was ontos, and it was really, because you say that all the time. All the time, you're like, really? And that's an actually represented word in the New Testament. When you're saying something is obvious that it's the truth. Really? Great.
It's so the truth. It does not need to be stated.
Yeah.
And why did we state it?
It's fun.
We wasted words.
It was a duck.
It's fun that that's represented in Greek. That concept is represented, not only represented, but then used in the New Testament.
I'm okay with that.
Cool. So, I guess I didn't ask. Did everybody listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
No.
No, you
I
didn't listen?
forgot, but I read it when I got here.
You read it. Did you read it?
I read it on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. Okay.
Like normal. Like normal. Monday was sideways, so I didn't read. I didn't do anything on Sunday. Monday. Wrong Sunday.
No. Just
She's vertical?
diagonal. No, not diagonal.
Vertical.
Just
Horizontal.
So does anybody have anything they want to say about the podcast? Add to, take away from, contradict?
I enjoyed it. I liked how you
Was
know,
valid.
breaking it down into the sections and, you know, looking at the words and all that, because it's a very good way of handling it, as opposed to, because it's a simple concept when you think about, oh, I need to put a belt of truth on. I need to be honest. It's not just, hey, be honest. There's more to it. It's the belt of truth, not the belt of being truthful. Not the belt of, it's not the. And I agree with you. That's the one passage I found in the CSB I don't like, because girding is such a strong word.
Yeah, it's a cultural reference. It's,
Instead of put on your belt.
yeah, instead of put on your belt doesn't have the same effect. It's not the same impact. Like, yeah, you need to put on a belt before you go run a mile if you're going to be
But,
wearing, loose pants. But
Girding yourself was an act of war. It was an act of standing. It was an act of defiance to what is coming against you.
Sometimes girding your loins was a hold on for your moment. Bet you can't jump that fence.
yeah.
Gird your loins, jump the fence.
I mean, it was also when you're going to do manual labor too, building a building or
Anytime you're going to do
carpentry.
standing and walking.
If you think about it, girding your loins is what you do when you're about to go to work. For instance, that's
Putting your big boy pants on.
that's what we call it.
Well, in this case, big
Bless
boy belt,
you.
big boy diaper.
I'm sorry, I said bless you.
It's putting your big boy diaper on.
Yeah.
Are you fussy?
I didn't like that.
So you're not
Sneeze
holding
cough.
him anymore, so he doesn't have a bright shirt to play with.
I found an infographic that goes through the step-by-steps of, I forgot to bring it, of girding your loins. And it's got this big old muscly guy in a tunic and shows him step-by-step, gathering it all around the edges, pushing it all through the legs and splitting it into two hands in the back, pulling it around your hips, tying it off, and then the last picture he's got his sword and he's running at you. It's cool.
In a big diaper shirt.
In a big diaper shirt, yeah.
It was very handsome.
That's like
Know what I'm getting you for Christmas?
There you have it, Jess. Thank you.
Some diaper shirts.
That's the biblical thing of like a jumper, like the shorts, t-shirt.
The romper.
Romp
Yeah.
him.
The rompim.
No.
It's weird. I don't even like it when women wear rompers.
I really just don't like the style of
Yeah,
rompers.
I think it looks bad.
I think on some people it
It
looks
just
good.
looks silly.
But every time I try on one,
You've
it
got
doesn't
to
look
be
good.
able to really pull it off.
You can't have
I've never seen anybody wear a romper where I thought, oh yeah, that's how you're supposed to wear that. I've never.
I
Never
follow
seen
some
anybody.
very odd Snapchats, and one of them was talking about festival season, and EDM festivals, and how this chick wore a romper to her festival, and she's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I couldn't use the bathroom. How you can take it off, but I'm in a porta potty and I can't. And it's just like you start thinking about all
Drop
the
it to the
issues.
floor,
You're
yeah.
like, no, I don't like these.
It's like overalls. That's just a bad design from the beginning.
Overalls are weird that they're coming back. It's weird. I keep seeing them in fashion magazines and fashion things, and I'm like, no. You agree? Yeah,
Well,
they're weird. No,
so
I'm talking to
far,
him, not you.
Be glad that when I jokingly ask the girls if they want overalls, they're like, no, mommy, that's weird. Walk away.
I think it's weird because then you get this extra layer on your chest where you get hot.
Yeah, I have a picture of me in overalls that I wore to an ATM and they just don't look good.
Now I have a pair of overalls that I wear for doing
Yard work.
yard work.
Yeah.
Yard
because
work.
then it's appropriate.
Well, there are
'Cause I need a
times.
pocket right here.
There are times, and there are some people who can pull it off. I've seen some people pull it off and it looks really cute, but it's just overall weird.
Overall.
Stay over there in your lane, Holmes.
It doesn't understand damn puns. That's okay.
It's fun.
No, it was pun. Punnies aren't funnies.
There's no pun intended.
Yeah, I know. Smile.
So you guys, what do you guys think about the specific word that he used there was verity?
What do you mean?
Instead of one of the other truths, he uses the word verity, and then the other places in the Bible define verity as the Holy Spirit.
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, truth comes from the Holy Spirit. You seek the Holy Spirit for truth and understanding.
Yep.
In a lot of ways, that's how I've always felt it. Is that it's not truth, because that's what so many people get wrong. Belt of truth. Oh, I have to be truthful. No. It's the belt of truth.
Yes.
It is the truth.
Verity is sincerity. It's you're sincere. It's not.
It's not like, oh, I'm perfect. Oh, I'm telling the truth. It's you're being true to yourself. You're being true to your calling. You're being true to a lot of things, not just true to speech.
Yeah.
What are you
The
singing,
Milan
Tina?
song at the end. Talking about being true to. Sorry.
What song?
When the credits roll in the Milan movie, it's that song about being true to your heart. And I don't know. It just made me think of
Pops
that.
in your head, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Tina hears the word truth, she thinks of a girl that tried to be a boy that finds a dragon and a cricket. I'm gonna throw that out there. That it's a girl who pretended to be a boy.
Would that then be Disney's first transvestite hero?
Yep.
No,
Huh?
because of the purposes behind it.
She went back to being a girl when she was done.
Yeah. It's about
Got married
motivation.
to a man.
Which was I can marry man?
Yeah, being a transvestite
Wait.
has no bearing on your sexual orientation, as in who you want to have sex with. It has all the
My
bearings
point
of
was that she went back to social norms.
who you feel like you are inside and the outside not matching.
But wouldn't that make Mulan Disney's first transgender?
No, it'd be the
That's
first
what I just
cross-dresser.
Cross-dresser.
Cross-dresser, nothing else. But
It's
that's-
not drag though.
But it,
It's not drag because it's not.
No, it's not.
What's the word?
Drag.
again, it's about motivation.
I mean, you can dress as Elvis, and if you're doing it in a way that
Impersonation.
draws attention, that's drag.
If drag is not necessarily just what we think of it.
It's not just a man dressing as a woman, or vice versa.
It's not. It's
Doing it for
outside
the
social
attention.
norms.
It's doing it in a way that draws attention.
It's not even about us. So it's
Because I heard someone say that once. I heard her say that.
But the problem is diction and connotation. Diction is often not connotation. In our culture, the connotation of drag is LGBT.
Which
And sometimes they're not. They
a
just
lot
like
of
do
time
it.
it
They
is,
just like dress
but
up.
not always.
Just enjoy dressing up. And go back home to their wives. I don't know why you're doing this thing.
He likes the
Like
iPad.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yes.
He liked to wear skirts.
Yep.
So you could be free and floaty.
I'd like a kill. I need to get one.
Yeah, I want one too.
I want an actual one though, one that you have to put together.
I have one. It's hard to keep up. Like it makes it hard to keep it up.
I don't know why I'm falling asleep standing here.
You're not standing.
You're
that's
not
probably why.
standing.
We all called you out on that.
I expected him to go, crap.
And now we officially have 0 people watching the live stream.
Dang.
So boring.
We had 1. Well, we had 3 when it first came on. And then it went down to 2 and went down to 1 and kind of
Does it count
2,
me as
1,
a-
2, 1, 2, 1.
Does it count me as a watcher if I scroll on Facebook and I see it and I pause there for a minute
I don't
and
know.
then scroll on?
It counts you as a temporary watcher.
Now it's at 0, so nobody's watching right now. We could say whatever we wanted. Nobody'd ever, unless they went back and watched the recording later.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now we got a viewer. They must have just had problems.
Hello.
Welcome back, viewer, or welcome, viewer.
Whatever.
Hello, Clarice.
What? So what do we want to talk about? If we've played out the podcast conversation.
Which point stay in?
Are you going to fall asleep if you keep doing
We
this?
could talk about how the fact that Tina's sick.
Stop it with the PDA.
It's not PDA.
Do I need to put somebody between
It's
you?
not.
It's not PDA.
Please don't
You're
put
in
me-
public and you're displaying affection.
This is an affection. This is public displays of tiredness.
Public displays of tiredness.
Mutual.
A mutual tiredness.
PDT.
Oh, it looks like affection to me.
No. PDT.
He denied your affection.
Like immediately and like harshly.
That was pretty harsh. It really was.
Public harsh denial of affection is grounds for dismissal.
It's like what?
Dismissal from what?
Affection?
The room, the marriage, the.
Turkish.
The room.
Why are you
The air.
repeating that?
Turkish.
You're tuckus.
You're dismissed from the atmosphere.
Why are you saying took us?
He's saying tuckus.
Why are you saying took us?
Took us.
What is this word even?
Took us. Booty. Butts,
Okay, okay.
Your babe.
What?
Your babe.
Turkish.
Nope.
Are there more viewers now?
There's two.
1,000?
Apparently, Houston's one of them. It's weird. Alright, so let's talk about something.
Hey, we're on. Oh, okay, you're live too. I was wondering why there were two streams.
And Bill Shea's live and the Ekklesian House is live. We actually get more viewers of this on,
On Bill
on my
Shea.
Bill Shea than we do on the Ekklesian House.
Yeah, because I get the emails all the time about, you want to boost up and get 35 more viewers? Pay this much money. I'm like, no, leave me alone.
No, that's okay. We prefer genuine viewers, not viewers that we paid for.
Please.
I mean, I guess we can just sit here and stare at each other silently, but
I'm sorry, I don't have it.
it doesn't make for very good live viewing.
Yeah.
I don't either.
That's okay. We're
Well-
not trained monkeys. It's got a code, Roxanne. You can't change it.
I'd like a new trained monkey.
You'd like a new trained monkey? What happened to your old trained monkey?
I got the mono.
You ate it? You got the mono and that's what happened to the trained monkey?
I'm his trained monkey.
Okay, you admit to being his trained monkey, which is sad, first off.
That's not how marriage works.
Second
Supposedly.
off, in a marriage, if anyone's a trained monkey, it's the man.
Not in this one. We do things backwards.
So he does the cooking, the cleaning, and the laundry, and you sit on the couch and play
I
video
said
games?
some things. We do. I didn't say all. Just things.
He's willing to do all those things. He's just not willing to put up the cap on it.
I stepped
Or
in
do
it
the
while I
dishes
was
that
at
they've
their
been
house.
sitting in the sink for
What?
a
I just have
day.
been sitting there for more than 2 days, I won't do them either. Because then they're stinky and it's gross and it makes me want to die.
Got my ear.
Oh.
With the cold wet. No.
I got some unsweet tea for you here.
Did you drink out of it yet?
Well, yeah, but you've already got the mono, so.
I don't have them on.
But your wife does, so it's likelihood that you do.
Well, according to the symptoms, he's just having mono his entire life.
His entire life.
Yeah, I asked her. I'm like, so how do I know if I'm catching this mono stuff? She goes, well, you get really tired. You know, I got sleep apnea, and you be sore all over, or I have arthritis. And how am I gonna know? I could be dying of mono, and I wouldn't know.
You're not gonna die of mono.
But I might go into the doctor and see.
They can test for that, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't do any good to know. There's no medication for it.
Yeah,
So it's just like, congratulations, you have mono.
So you just wait?
Yeah, you just have to get over it. That's why it's so, that's why it'll devastate a school if the school gets an outbreak.
That's why it's called kissing disease. Yeah. That's what happens when you make
You
out
can also
with
get
the
it from a water fountain.
Or making out with the mailman.
Or making out with the
I
mailman.
did not make out with the mailman.
Why not?
My friend's daughter got
Not.
my friend's daughter. She goes, yeah, my daughter got mono. She was on the volleyball team. I looked at her. She was sharing water bottles. I went, oh, okay.
Oh.
I was like, because when you just say that, I'm like, what,
What kind of volley were they playing?
like, what do you let your kid do?
I like that. Thanks. It survived.
Oh.
You need to build a time machine and go back in time and teach people how to make castles.
Just like that. So when God comes down and says, "Hey."
So there's this housing development in Turkey where they tried to build these castles. You know, a whole housing development castles. It's just like castle, 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 castle. And Ron stands to me and she was like, squatters' rights? As in, should we move to Turkey and just set up camp in one of these houses? They have to give it to us? And I was like, I don't think Turkey follows squatters' rights.
It's like 500 of these houses.
Yeah, it's
sitting
like
in-
500 mini
Why are they
castles.
empty?
They ran out of money before they finished the housing development.
Like,
So why
the
are
roads
they-
aren't
They sold
done.
like 2 of them.
I thought they said that like overseas investors had bought like 300 of them, but they couldn't, they hadn't moved in. Or, I don't know.
They ran out of money is what it was. And so
But
they
it looked like the houses were done. They just didn't do like the roads. And
not
stuff.
all the houses are done. Just some of the houses are
Sure,
done.
I'm sure there's a couple that done that we just go squatting.
Although, you know, it's not actually legal for us to go to Turkey, given that we're U.S. citizens. So,
You can go to Turkey for a little while.
can you now? You couldn't, used to.
You can apply for a student visa for Turkey. It was taken off the list. You still can't go to Yemen or any place, or Iran. But Turkey is taken off the list because they're our friends now.
Nor can you negotiate with an Iranian government entity on behalf of the U.S.
Yeah.
You'll get tried with the Logan Act, or not tried with the Logan Act. We'll see. You guys heard that, right? There's been U.S. government officials that have been negotiating with Iranian government officials behind Trump's back, breaking the Logan Act, which means technically they've committed treason, which is a capital offense. So we'll see if they actually
Punishable
run
by
with that or
death.
not.
Phoenix is no.
So one of our watchers right now is in San Antonio.
It's probably me.
Hi, Connie.
That's probably Connie, yeah.
If she comments hi. Comment hi.
She said hi from San Antonio.
Comment. Greg is a weirdo.
More trip?
Why are you burning so hot?
Greg, you're not a weirdo. You're just abnormally abnormal.
In his belly button. When it erupts, that's when we're
I
like.
guess the chat thing is still glitchy.
Come on, fire.
I guess that's a yes.
He liked that question. I give it a silly Uncle Noobs look.
Do you have a silly Uncle Names?
Sure, silly. We could say silly. Silly could be a word.
I'm concerned if I got sick because he was holding me and slobbering on me.
So the belt of truth, belt of verity. Bye, Connie. She says, love you all, have to go now.
She didn't finish about Greg.
Peace and love.
And then verity is the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Spirit is verity.
Yawned.
So there you go.
I'm eating chips every week. I'm sorry, sir.
I see that. You are eating chips. Why are you poking? What is this? Ephesians 6?
No, you won't.
He goes, excuse me?
See, look, she is soft. She's very soft. Look at that.
So I was thinking, and I may end up doing a podcast about it, I may not, I don't know. But in verse 13 in Ephesians 6, when it says, for this reason take up the full armor of God, so that you may be able to resist in the evil day.
Uh-huh.
What is that evil day?
Any day you wake up married to news.
No.
So I'll never fix that then.
Exactly.
Good to go.
Nothing.
The day that Satan rules the world. You know, like the day of man.
The
Like
day when the
day of
seals are
Satan.
broken. He's loosed for this holding area.
Any day we live on this earth is an evil day.
Yep.
So the word there, it loosely is the word hurtful, but can be evil. It's especially used when saying morally culpable. It has also been used to say the devil.
So in the days
When
where
it's-
the world is evil, not
Yeah.
necessarily the day.
And then day is pretty straightforward. The 24-hour space between dawn and dark.
Question.
What is your problem?
I don't know, she's just yelling at me.
He's been pinching me today.
I don't believe it. It's supposed to be the fiery darts.
This is supposed to be fiery darts of the evil one. The evildoers are at the gates.
What are you talking about? See, the outfit makes no sense.
Pardon me? What did I say? You should do.
Oh, is that one of those romper thingies?
Yep, that's a. No, it looks like she's wearing shorts. I don't know.
No.
Can't tell.
I didn't see it. Oh, so
Green.
There are rompers that are shorts though, or are they called something different?
No.
that's a romper.
They're rompers.
There are pant rompers as well. Got public
Romper is
pants.
romper is the action that you do while you're wearing it.
You romp around.
Romp.
Romp around.
Romp around. Romp.
Rap or something.
Can't touch this.
Yeah.
Can't touch it.
I want to go to his church. MC Hammer.
I wanted to be on his talk show.
He had a talk show?
Mm-hmm.
Hammer time? Is that what he called it? That's what I'd call it.
I don't remember if that's what he called it.
Why are you licking me? Did you say why you licking me?
Yeah, he stuck out his
Okay.
tongue and licked my arm.
Well, you are where food comes from. When you look for tasty overall.
Or maybe he was sticking his tongue while he was moving his body. I covered it too.
Is her whole body made of milk, or just other things, or? We look right here. Nope, that's not milk.
I think he knows where it is because he'll try to bend down and like, you know, when he's sitting up like this.
I'm making a joke.
But I think it's funny because he'll actually like grab at me.
I'll go 999.
Every time you lean on me, my eyes just like want to close and not open up again.
Lean on
I
me.
need you to sit.
When you're not strong,
When you
girlfriend, I help you carry on, for it won't be long.
till I
I'm
get
gonna need somebody to lean on.
Stop it.
Lean on me when you're not strong.
That is really loud.
I'll be your
It is.
friend.
It's painful.
I'll help you carry on, for
Please stop it before.
it won't be long till I'm gonna need
You too.
somebody to. Wow, that's louder. Lean on.
Yep, I know it's exciting.
You just call on your brother when you need a hand.
We all need somebody.
Twerk that booty. Twerk it. Twerk it. No. There he goes. No.
Why are you making your son twerk his booty? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Put his feet on the table, it'll have more effect.
No, that's not where they were supposed to go. You ruined it. No.
You ruined it.
You ruined it, dude.
No.
You ruined her life.
Oh,
knock over my soda every time we'd go out to eat when I was a kid.
Y'all keeping your stuff on the plate?
Trying.
On the plates and in the cups.
Yeah.
No problem.
Unless it goes in our mouth.
Right. That's okay. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I checked it. I'm sorry.
You need not to have that earlier monster chicken and monster here so that you can stay back here. Or would you not make it here? You used to have a monster here.
I changed my times.
Well, I think you need to change them back.
You got a chip on your shoulder.
Well, he crunched it back right behind my shirt. I know.
Yeah, your husband is showing me his skin.
Oh.
You're sweaty. I had this,
Pet the fur baby. Pet the fur baby.
I had this revelation. I don't remember why I had this revelation, but it had something to do with men saying women's skin is so soft or something, and I was like, the only reason they think that is because their skin is hairy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
That made him mad.
He's like, I want to have her skin.
He tried to get my face, and I pulled away. He screamed at me.
He just wanted your face.
Not your face.
Look at this in here, Uncle Fester. You're not bald.
What you looking for?
The question that I just asked about the evil day.
My pen went out.
But nobody seems to have any opinion.
I stated my opinion.
What was your opinion?
The fact that it's not necessarily an evil day, it's the days when the times are evil.
Yes.
And what would define that?
Days that are morally
Corrupt.
corrupt, like the word is.
Culpable means you're standing before a judge and he's giving you your sentence for being evil or dismissing you for being good,
Well, you better have your belt of truth on, so that way.
right? But tell you what I'm thinking this evil day that he's talking about, and I don't have scriptural basis behind this, which is why I wanted to open up the dialogue and possibly do an episode on it so I could take time to actually research it. Is that is not the spoon from my tea. This is the spoon from my tea.
What's that spoon from?
Your tea. Now I can't drink my tea or I'm going to get the mono.
I ain't touched the spoon.
Yeah, but it's not the mono. You gotta.
So,
It's the duo.
I love my wife. I love my wife.
Today's one of those days that was off the rails before you started it.
If anybody wants to purchase a slightly used wife,
Two camel.
No.
And I got-
I'll
give
take
you
the turkey
4
to live in those castles.
I opened the bidding at 2 camel.
I'll take a dromedary and a nice heifer.
You like me.
I do like it.
You would miss me.
He is an Irishman though, so
Goodness.
a heifer could, take the place.
Wow. I'll have you know it's goats, not
I'm
heifers.
not a heifer anymore. I don't have babies.
So, okay, you're right, you don't have babies anymore. So,
You don't
you've already had babies,
anymore.
sorry. You've already had babies, so you're not a heifer.
I'm just a fat cow. Apparently.
I don't know if I can bring this back on track now.
This is us trying to back it up. It's not working. Your thought is the evil day is judgment, and but you don't have the scriptural basis, so you're trying to find that, and you might do a podcast on it at a later time.
Yeah.
Which we should reserve for that time because today isn't real. And I blame Gina for having the mono.
Well, I'm mainly thinking that because, The word Satan, it means the accuser. And you know he's going to accuse us at the judgment. I'm thinking that's the evil day where we resist the devil, is the day of accusation.
I can see it.
I don't know.
I can see it, but again, it's one of those things where, as far as I know, there's no scripture.
It's going to be a really hard thing to research too, because all of my concordances that I turn to help with information, they're so focused on the armor of God in that section that most of them just skip over that verse altogether. And I'm like, but what about that verse? Can I get anybody to tell me anything about that verse? And there is one reference in Revelations that talks about the time of temptation being an evil time. So it could very well be talking about the tribulation as being that evil day, and that Paul was warning the church they need to be ready for the tribulation. Because, well, as I believe, we go mid-tribs, or at least half that tribulation will be here for. But there's arguments, valid arguments, for pre and post. Not as much post, but
I prefer to be pre-trib just because that's what I'm hoping. But
I want to be Deary.
I'm assuming probably a mid-trib.
before I had a family, I always thought I was going to the gallows or to the guillotine.
I heard I like
the guillotine, but
dairy.
now that I have a family,
I was really confused.
kind of feel different.
Domestic terrorism.
Huh? Domestic terrorism.
I did not say that.
Me? I can understand that. I'm already a domestic terrorist.
The thing is, I feel more and more that if the biblical timeline plays out in our lifetimes, that we're looking for the Antichrist to be a Muslim. And if that's the case, then the worldwide religion will be Islam.
It is a way of bastardizing
You know?
the Jewish faith, because some view it as a bastardization of the Jewish faith.
And, the Antichrist has to fulfill all the prophecies that Jesus fulfilled about the Messiah. So he has to come out of Egypt, he has to this and that and all this other stuff, so never broken a bone and blah, blah, blah.
Thinking of things, sorry. I was thinking that Obama was born in Egypt, but he wasn't.
He wasn't.
In Africa. Closest thing I can think of to the Antichrist.
But he doesn't have to be born in Egypt because Jesus wasn't born in Egypt. They fled to Egypt and then he came out of Egypt, which then fulfilled the prophecy that
Did Obama come out of Egypt?
his son would come out of Egypt. No, he didn't. He came out of Africa.
I was trying to think.
He was born in Hawaii, for following the narrative. He was born in Hawaii, but he did spend time in Africa under his father's tutelage, learning about Islam and all of those things, and then came out of Africa, but not Egypt.
Just seems to me the easiest way to, Antichrist would be to somebody who's close enough already. Obama.
That's not what I really well.
That's just
You think?
well,
Throw it at the camera.
the wings create enough lift.
It's a little crooked. Throw it at the
Okay, so while we're having serious conversations, she makes airplanes out of her bullet time.
You just think it's kind of effed up origami.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, that did not work.
They say they don't want to actively help with the children's ministry. They just want to pretend like they are
In the children.
in the children's church while we're having serious discussions.
Is it a chef's hat?
It's the Pope hat. Put the pointy thing up. It's the Pope hat.
Bandana.
It's the Pope hat.
It's a bandana.
So I'm gonna have to do more research on the Evil Day thing
Yeah.
and see if there's even anything there for a podcast.
That-
Because if it turns out just to mean
That's gonna be hard because. like
anytime
you
you're
said,
depressed, then that doesn't really make a podcast.
Any concordance is more focused on putting on the armor, standing up against, not what you're standing up against or
Yeah.
the day.
Or when.
Yeah.
When is he referencing? Nobody talks about it in the concordances.
Because I definitely know it's not the Strong's concordance because I've preached a message,
Yeah.
but oh my god.
Just play here.
So it's not in the Matthew Henry, it's not in the Preacher's Homiletical, it's not in the Sermon Bible, it's not in the Pulpit Commentary, it's not in John Wesley's Notes on the Bible, and it's not in F.B. Myers through the Bible day by day. See,
Wow.
none of those commentaries. And I consult all of those commentaries for every podcast.
So this is going to be something you're going to have to dive into on your
I
own.
may have to go get a Spurgeon
A
concordance.
sturgeon?
No, not a fish. Spurgeon.
You should come to my house and see if I have one. I have a couple concordances you might not.
Okay.
From all that stuff my grandfather gave me.
I mean, all of my concordances are on here. Yeah, in the e-sword.
Right here. Right there.
Right there.
Right here.
On that device.
There.
Yeah, that's where I access my
What
e-sword.
if it hits it?
That's the point. But I'll do it then.
If it hits it, you're gonna get in trouble.
That's why I'm telling you to do it.
She hits it, she's gonna get in trouble too.
It's too front heavy.
7:13.
I was
Okay, so this week was the Belt of Truth, and the podcast that just came out is the Breastplate of Righteousness. So, go listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And then either join us next week for this, or join us next week on there. And have a good week.
Bye! Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.